colonialism? Cool. Then shut down Twitter because that rant you just posted was written in English. And guess what? English ain't your mother tongue, but it sure is the language that got you paid, that got you seen, that built your LinkedIn dream. You hate colonial roads? Then walk to work, comrade. Better yet, try flying without colonial airports. Burn your passport while you're at it and scream decolonize while standing in a queue for a visa to the UK. You hate colonial degrees? Then rip up that UCT paper. Tell your boss, I reject my qualification. It's colonial. See how long that job lasts? You hate colonial hospitals? Then don't you dare roll into Groot Shore when your chest tightens at midnight. Die like a decolonized martyr. Let's see how that plays out. But here's the truth. Fam, most of what works today, what still stands today, what still delivers today, was left by the colonizers you pretend to hate while worshiping comrades who stole your fate. You love the Constitution? Thank colonial rule. You post from a Samsung? That's capitalism, fool. You shout black pride in a European suit, drinking Moet, driving a German car, streaming Netflix from a fiber line. Laid by who again? Let's not pretend. You don't hate colonialism. You hate being reminded that Zille might just be better than the comrades who sold you slogans and built you nothing. Zille said colonialism wasn't all bad, that some things worked, and she got dragged for it by people who can't even fix a tap. But now she's available to clean up Joburg, to patch the holes, to cut the rot, to end the reign of thieves and suits and slogans. And you're crying because she's white? No, my guy, you're not protecting Black pride. You're protecting Black failure. Let the people choose. Let Joburg rise. Let ballots speak. Not your bitterness. Zille doesn't need your approval. She needs your vote. And if she wins, she'll do what your comrades never could: build, fix, deliver. The future ain't black or white. The future is functional. Drop mic, Joburg. Decide.
You say Africa would be better without colonialism? Show us the evidence. Let's stop fantasizing. Let's stop building castles in the air and calling them facts. The claim that Africa would have done better without colonialism is just that: a claim, a guess, a comforting theory to avoid taking responsibility for the now. But here's the deal: history doesn't reward wishful thinking. It demands evidence. So tell us, where is the proof? Where is the real-world model of an African country that never encountered colonialism, yet built advanced institutions, global infrastructure, a strong economy, and a functional state? The truth is, there isn't one. Even Ethiopia, the one African nation that resisted full colonization, suffered under monarchy, famine, and Marxist dictatorship. Liberia, founded by freed slaves, had over a century of independence and still collapsed into civil war and poverty. Meanwhile, the post-colonial track record of most African nations has been marked by looted treasuries, military coups, corruption masquerading as nationalism, destroyed education systems, infrastructure neglected or cannibalized for kickbacks, one-party states and family dynasties parading as democracy. You want to blame colonialism for that? Colonialism ended decades ago. What did we do with the baton after we grabbed it? South Africa had 30 solid years to run with it. 30 years of freedom, slogans, and ANC comrades in power. And what do we have? Collapsing cities, broken hospitals, schools without toilets, unemployment rusting away Black youth like scrap metal, political killings, public sector looting beyond imagination. You can't keep blaming a ghost while ignoring the thieves in your house. So let's speak honestly. Yes, colonialism was exploitative. Yes, it disrupted and wounded our societies. But the deeper question is this: what have we done with the freedom we demanded? We inherited functioning infrastructure, a modern constitution, global trade routes, world-class hospitals and universities. And we torched them with incompetence, ideology, and theft. If colonialism is to be condemned, let it be condemned with fact, not fiction. And if African self-governance is to be celebrated, let it be judged by results, not rhetoric. Because if we say we'd be better off without colonialism, then it's only fair to ask, why aren't we better off now, when colonialism is gone? Truth doesn't fear evidence, but ideology always runs from accountability.
Let's play a little game of honesty, shall we? You hate colonialism? Fine. Then stop using English to post your rants on Twitter. Because while you're busy preaching decolonization, millions of South Africans are using that same colonial language to close deals, run global businesses, and freelance across borders. English isn't just a language. It's an economic passport. Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana. They're cashing in, not crying. You hate colonial infrastructure? Cool. Then walk to Durban. Don't use those railway lines, ports, or highways the British left behind. Yes, they were built for profit. But guess what? They still work better than anything our looting comrades managed to build in 30 years. You hate colonial education systems? Great. Then rip up your UCT degree. Don't send your kids to Fort Hare. Burn your certificates and tell the HR department you reject Western frameworks. But spoiler, you won't, because deep down, you know you're standing on systems that still hold, while everything else crumbles. Groote Schuur Hospital? Colonial, where the first human heart transplant took place. Want to tear it down too? Or would you prefer it stays there next time your uncle has chest pains? Let's be real. Most of our black excellence today, our lawyers, engineers, doctors, architects, walk on foundations laid during colonial times. The tragedy is not that we inherited them. The tragedy is that we haven't outbuilt them, because instead of building, we looted. Instead of growing, we blame. Zille said colonialism wasn't wholly bad. She's right. That's not worship. That's nuance. But nuance doesn't trend, right? Only outrage does. So while the race warriors throw tantrums over her skin color, let's ask the real question. Can she fix Joburg? Can she restore order? Can she deliver water, fix roads, clean up theft, and run a city like a city? If the answer is yes, then who cares if she's white, green, or striped like a zebra? Let the ballot speak, not your racial insecurities, not the looting comrades, not the failed revolutionaries. Let the people choose results, not resentment.
Helen Zille is available. Now let the voters speak, not the racists. Helen Zille is considering stepping up to rescue Johannesburg from its collapse. That fact alone has exposed the rotten underbelly of South Africa's race-obsessed political elite. Predictably, the moment her name came up, the loudmouthed racist began barking, "We can't have a white woman running Joburg!" As if the city is a trophy for skin tone, not a place where real people are dying under the rubble of failed leadership. Let's set the record straight. Zille's availability as a mayoral candidate is not up to the race hustlers, social media arsonists, or bitter comrades who destroyed the city. It's up to the voters. And recent polling from nearly every major newspaper shows a truth the elite cannot swallow. Over 70% of black South Africans say race has nothing to do with it, and they didn't say it politely. They said it with fury. They said it with the pain of betrayal. They said it as victims of black leaders who raped their dignity, looted their future, and turned the city into a lawless junkyard. These are the same black citizens who are tired of being patronized with black excellence slogans while their RDP homes collapse, their children walk to school through sewage, and their elderly die in public hospitals without dignity. They no longer care what color the mayor is. They care if the mayor shows up, cleans up, and does the job. Zille has lived in Johannesburg. She worked in Hillbrow. Her roots in this city run deep. She doesn't need to tick anyone's racial checklist. What matters is her proven ability to lead, to restore order, and to govern with discipline. Something Johannesburg hasn't seen in years. Those who say a white woman cannot lead a black city are not fighting racism. They are racism. The same poison that once said blacks were not fit to govern is now used in reverse to say whites must stay out. It was evil then. It is evil now. So let the fearmongers scream, let the comrades panic, but let one truth stand above the noise. Helen Zille is available, and in a democracy that means only one thing. The people will decide. Not race, not Twitter, not the ANC, the voters. The same voters who are now rising up, not in defense of whiteness or blackness, but in defense of competence. Zille doesn't need to be black to fix Joburg. She just needs to be better.
You hate colonialism? Cool. Then shut down Twitter. Cause that rant you just posted was written in English. And guess what? English ain't your mother tongue, but it sure is the language that got you paid, that got you seen, that built your LinkedIn dream. You hate colonial roads? Then walk to work, comrade. Better yet, try flying without colonial airports. Burn your passport while you're at it and scream, decolonize while standing in a queue for a visa to the UK. You hate colonial degrees? Then rip up that UCT paper. Tell your boss, I reject my qualification, it's colonial. See how long that job lasts. You hate colonial hospitals? Then don't you dare roll into Groot Shore when your chest tightens at midnight. Die like a decolonized martyr. Let's see how that plays out. But here's the truth, fam. Most of what works today, what still stands today, what still delivers today, was left by the colonizers you pretend to hate while worshipping comrades who stole your fate. You love the Constitution. Thank colonial rule. You post from a Samsung? That's capitalism, fool. You shout black pride in a European suit, drinking Moet, driving a German car, streaming Netflix from a fiber line. Laid by who again? Let's not pretend. You don't hate colonialism. You hate being reminded that Zille might just be better than the comrades who sold you slogans and built you. Nothing. Zille said colonialism wasn't all bad, that some things worked, and she got dragged for it by people who can't even fix a tap. But now she's available. To clean up Joburg, to patch the holes, to cut the rot, to end the reign of thieves in suits and slogans. And you're crying because she's white? No, my guy. You're not protecting black pride. You're protecting black failure. Let the people choose. Let Joburg rise. Let ballots speak. Not your bitterness. Zille doesn't need your approval. She needs your vote. And if she wins, she'll do what your comrades never could. Build. Fix. Deliver. The future ain't black or white. The future is functional. Drop mic. Joburg, decide.
Let's be brutally clear. Helen Zille running for Johannesburg mayor is not a threat to black pride. What is a threat to black pride is broken infrastructure, dry taps, pothole-littered streets, hijacked buildings, and violent crime. What insults black dignity is not the race or gender of a mayor, but the daily degradation of living in a city looted to its knees. Looted funds that were meant for township economy. Think of the billions of rands that was stolen by ANC comrades that were meant for the development of Soweto into a metropolis of the world. All that money was set aside to that project of making Soweto the metropolis of the world. What happened to that money? Taken by the ANC comrades, and they went to Dubai with their girlfriends. The racist claim that a white woman cannot lead Johannesburg because it supposedly robs black people of pride is not only shallow, it's dishonest. Helen Zille was born in Johannesburg. She grew up in the inner city. She worked as a journalist in Hillbrow. Her roots in Joburg are no less valid than any other citizens. This is her city too. And let's address the so-called colonialism comment that keeps being dragged up. In an academic discussion, Zille pointed out that colonialism, while oppressive and exploitative, left behind certain institutional legacies, such as transport, legal systems, and yes, the English language, which we now use to run global businesses. That's not colonial worship. That's historical honesty. I'm not afraid to say it. I am proud to speak and master the English language. It has given me access to the world. My digital business thrives on global platforms, thanks to that linguistic bridge. That bridge exists because of colonial history, no matter how bitter or painful its roots may be. We need to stop weaponizing history in selective outrage. The real issue is not race, it's delivery. Johannesburg is collapsing. Black mayors were given decades to fix it, and they failed because corruption, cadre deployment, and racial identity politics took priority over service delivery. Now, when someone competent steps up, suddenly it's a race war? That's not justice. That's cowardice hiding behind slogans. It's time we stopped obsessing about what leaders look like and start caring about what they deliver. If a white woman can clean up the city, restore law and order, and bring dignity back to Joburg's residents, then let her. Black pride is not about rejecting white people. It's about lifting black lives. And right now, that means putting competence over color. Joburg doesn't need another comrade. It needs a leader. If that leader is Helen Zille, so be it.
So, you are too consumed by what Helen Zille said about colonialism? You are so consumed that Helen Zille made a remark that aspects of colonialism helped. Yes, colonialism helped. I am here to tell you that. What is fact is fact. What is truth is truth. What is fact, and what is truth is truth. Do you agree with that? Please agree, for if you do not agree that fact should be fact and truth should remain truth, then you are less than my dog. So, assuming that you agree, let us move on and tell you whether what I am saying is fact and truth. I am proud that master the English language. I am able to interact with the world using the English language. If there was no colonialism, I will still speak an African language unable to connect with the world. Language, today, millions of South Africans earn income globally, whether as freelancers, consultants, or entrepreneurs, in English. The ability to speak English is not just colonial residue, it is an economic passport. Many African countries like Ghana, Kenya, and Nigeria owe much of their global connectivity and international competitiveness to this common language. Infrastructure. The colonial rail lines, roads, and ports may have been built for extraction, but they remain the backbone of trade and transport today. Had post-colonial governments maintained and expanded them instead of looting budgets, we would be far ahead. Legal systems and education. Our courts, civil service structures, and even university frameworks, from UCT to Fort Hare, were shaped during the colonial period. Does that make colonialism holy? No, but it shows that not everything inherited must be thrown away in ideological tantrums. Healthcare and medical facilities. Groote Schuur, hospital in Cape Town, where the world's first heart transplant was performed, is a colonial-era institution. Should we bulldoze it in the name of decolonization? Or should we thank history for leaving behind something that saves lives? If we're being honest, most Black professionals today, doctors, lawyers, engineers, and business leaders, stand on systems built during that era but are now being run by us. What matters is what you do with what you inherit. The obsession with purging anything colonial while clinging to colonial legacies like English, Western medicine, and the Constitution is hypocrisy. Worse, it is distraction. Zille is not the past, she is offering a future, and Johannesburg needs a future. So let's leave the race baiting to the desperate. Zille's record speaks for itself: clean audits, disciplined governance, and zero tolerance for corruption. She doesn't come wrapped in identity politics. She comes armed with results. Let Joburg choose results. Let the people speak. Not the comrades, not the looters, not the hate mongers. The ballot will decide, not bloodline.
In the heart of Africa, under wide open skies, fields of gold and rolling hills, where the spirit never dies. From the bustling towns to the quiet Karoo, South Africa's calling out to you. Cape Town's mountains touch the clouds so high, and Johannesburg's streets where dreams can fly. To the wild frontier, there's a universal song whispering in your ear. South Africa, your heart beats strong. Global rhythms in a universal song. From the plains to the peaks and every trail untrod, you sing a tune that's shared by God. Kids play soccer in the dusty streets. Their laughter echoes like a heartbeat in the heat. Farmers toil with hands calloused and worn, harvesting hopes from seeds they've sworn. South Africa, your heart beats strong. Global rhythms in a universal song. From the plains to the peaks and every trail untrod, you sing a tune that's shared by God.